Amir Samandi is the founder and executive director of Students of Service, a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to developing global citizenship in youth through local service learning and meaningful travel abroad experiences. Rex Hausmann is a San Antonio-based international artist who operates Hausmann Millworks, a creative community. He also has been a guest lecturer in the south of France at Savannah College of Art and Design in Lacoste. Together, Amir and Rex planned a joint trip to France with their organizations in October of 2021. We're speaking with them today about how they achieved such a feat during COVID-19, the hardships of traveling during that time, and their future plans. Hey guys, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, Elizabeth, thanks.
So what was it that drove you guys to go to France in the middle of a pandemic?
I'll start with my piece. I get a phone call in the beginning of the pandemic when the world is pretty dark. And Rex calls me and he says, "Hey man, I think we should put together a trip to France for the artists, for the mill. Is that crazy?" I was like, yes and no. It sounds a little crazy, but honestly, the world's gonna have to figure this thing out. And I think by the time we go, things will be better. And we sat down and we started dreaming. And Rex started telling me about all the things he did when he was a young artist, and you know, just that dreaming got me going again, and I needed that, and that's how it started. Over to you, man.
Yeah, I think Amir hit on something really important, and Elizabeth as well. That idea of dreaming, which is totally irrational, like it's not rational at all. I had been going over to France for about, at the time, 4 or 5 years, since about 2014. And I went over to teach at Savannah College of Art and Design, not as a teacher, but as a junior professor and then as a lecturer, which means you're a visiting artist. I was sitting at a cafe table in Lacoste saying, why can't other people do this? And it was like right when the pandemic hit, Amir and I had actually just had the first lecture at the mill, like the day, like the week of COVID. It was like, well, beyond lockdown, it was like, are we nuts? You know? And I just can't stress enough to people, you need to still dream. So really this whole thing began in dreams, and irrational dreams, quite frankly.
What were some of the hardships along the way in the planning of your trip? I know that, as you mentioned, COVID was in full swing. And I know you had to move the trip a couple of times, but what were some of the hardships that you guys really had to face? 3, yeah, okay.
Well, the beauty of this partnership is Rex gets to be the artist, and I think about the nuts and bolts and the logistics part of it, and I don't make him have to worry about that. My work with SOS, I'm used to putting together trips. I mean, we've taken over 500 travelers abroad to 15 different countries and counting. We're still going and can't stop, won't stop. The biggest challenge was just getting out of San Antonio. We went to the airport, and I think the people at the airline counter were just so perplexed because they hadn't seen anybody going international, and they're like, "You can't go to France." As a group, yeah. And we're like, yes, we can go to France. And I'm pulling up my phone and showing them, like, here's all the regulations and everything. So it just, you know, there were multiple times when we could have turned back and given up. But Rex and I wanted to see this through. And by the grace of God, we got through it.
The hardest thing was we didn't have a free ticket to France. It wasn't like, oh, hey, you're a great artist. It's like, no, we're all in this together. We have a discounted rate, but we still got to pony up the dough. And people are losing their jobs. People are getting laid off. People are not knowing how to pay their bills. And we're going to France. Come on now. You know, that's a lot to ask for anybody, in particular artists who have very tight budgets. But we did it. And everybody from a clerk and a teacher to people in really, you know, good, you know, affluent sides of town. It really was a broad demographic of people that went to France. And that's what we're so proud of. It wasn't just one group or this group or that group, and every age range, which really shows it shows a community.
We started in Nice, which was beautiful, just gorgeous. October in the south of France is just a wonderful time to be there. And so we went into Aix-en-Provence, and then from there, Avignon, and then from there up to Paris. We also took little excursions on the side, like to Lacoste and to see SCAD. And to me, the social climate at that time, right, everything's a snapshot. That was before Omicron and after kind of they had their big wave. So we timed it, we got lucky with the timing.
I'd love to hear more about the partnership between your two organizations, and are there any future trips?
Yes. Amir, shameless plug.
Yeah. I think this is just the beginning of a beautiful friendship, so we'll always have Paris, Rex.
Hey, Amir, wait. We're in France.
We're in France, bro.
Made it.
I think, we've it kind of challenged me to think differently about SOS and to think bigger with SOS. And Rex, it's great when iron sharpens iron, and Rex and I kind of make each other better. And he's like, hey, Amir, you need to think bigger. And I think, one of the ways to do that is to do adult travel. And I think there's no reason that adults can't learn, serve, and explore, which is the tagline of SOS. So I think it's given me a lot of energy and passion to move into that space, and to see what we can do to kind of support the core mission, which is helping young people have those experiences. But I think there's a natural symbiotic relationship there. So still developing that, but one thing's for sure, Rex and I are going to be planning a trip to
Spain. As the Millworks, I mean, we grew from 2 studios to 57 and 70 artists and craftsmen now, and over 15 years. Again, zoom in, young artists, 15 years, yo, not 3, not 5, 1, 5. It's a long time. And I say that because this whole interview is about basically overcoming ridiculous obstacles, which if you want to be an artist, a craftsman, or designer, that will be the rest of your life. And I think at the Mill, to bring it to our tagline and our core principle of grow where you're planted, is you can live in San Antonio, Modern and SA, SOS. Notice there's kind of a theme, San Antonio. We all love this place, but you got to get out. You got to travel. And at the Mill, I think giving people a dream, something to work towards that's far enough away that it's not like a stress, but close enough that they can still believe in it. And then we're going to go to Spain and see Gaudí, Miro, the Sagrada Familia, Park Güell. And what we hope happens with that between, SOS and Millworks is that we grow San Antonio as individuals and as a small community. People go out and then bring it back to San Antonio. In this article, it was so big, literally the writer was, Rex, we want people to keep dreaming. We want normal people to keep dreaming. You hear about all the people that are in the top 1% of society or 2% traveling all over the world, and people just don't think they can do that. And we're like, we're just normal people. Guess what? We just finished an amazing experience. Yeah. And so the hope is that average everyday people can feel like they can do extraordinary things, and then they're becoming extraordinary. So the life of this world isn't just for this person or that person, it's for everybody. You need some determination, you need a plan, you need friends, you need support, and you need encouragement to keep going and making your dreams come true, truly, not only for yourself but others.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.